Hello guys, in this video we will see various important properties of arithmetic progression. These properties are very useful when you are solving the problems. Let us see the first one. Now we know that the nth term of an arithmetic progression an, let us say, is given by a plus n minus 1 into d. Right, keeping this in mind, if you are asked to determine the common difference of an arithmetic progression whose nth term, let us say, is an is equal to 5n square plus 3n plus 2, then how would you determine that? So I am repeating the question. If the nth term is given as 5n square plus 3n plus 2, then how would you determine the common difference of the arithmetic progression? I know many of you will just determine what is the second term, a2, and then you will determine what is a1, and then you will determine what is the difference between these two, a2 minus a1. Since it's a common difference, since it's an arithmetic progression, if you take the difference between any two consecutive terms, you should get the common difference. So using that logic, you will determine what is a2 minus a1, and whatever you get, you would say that is the common difference. But that is actually not correct. What is the reason is, actually there is a problem with the question itself. Here they have given that the nth term of the arithmetic progression is 5n square plus 3n plus 2, which is not possible, because if you see the nth term of an arithmetic progression, that is a plus n minus 1 into d, this we can simplify, right? A and d are some real numbers, a plus nd minus d. So I will write this as a minus d plus n into d. So you can observe that the power of n is 1, which means the nth term an is a linear expression in n. It's always a linear expression in n. So which means if you see something like an is equal to 3 plus 2n, then yes, you can say that this represents the nth term of an arithmetic progression. But if you see an expression which is a quadratic in n or even a cubic polynomial in n, now you should understand that that does not represent the nth term of an arithmetic progression. And moreover, if you observe the linear expression, here you can see that the coefficient of d, the coefficient of n is actually d, which is the common difference. So here also, if you have to determine what is the common difference, it is simply whatever is the coefficient of n, which is 2. So the common difference of this arithmetic progression whose nth term is given as 3 plus 2n is d is equal to 2. Now the same way, if you see the expression for sum of n terms of an arithmetic progression, it is given as n by Sn is equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So if you multiply this, what you will get is actually a quadratic expression in n. So how the nth term of an arithmetic progression is a linear term in n, is a linear expression in n, the same way the sum of n terms of an arithmetic progression is a quadratic expression in n. And let us say if Sn is given as 3n square plus 2n, and if you have to determine what is the nth term, Tn equal to dash, then how would you determine that? So to determine the nth term, what we will do is, if you take Sn, what is this? This is sum of n terms, that is the first term T1 plus T2 plus so on till Tn. Now if you take Sn minus 1, that would be sum of n minus 1 terms. So T1 plus T2 plus so on till, see the term preceding this is Tn minus 1, right? So here we are adding only up to 2n minus 1. So when we subtract this, what do we get? Sn minus 1 is equal to Tn. We don't have to write these expressions and take the difference. You should understand that when you take sum of n terms, from that if you subtract the sum of n minus 1 terms, what will be left is actually the nth term. So here also, to determine the nth term, what we will do, we will write Tn is equal to Sn, which is already given, 3n square plus 2n minus Sn minus 1 means what we need to do? We just need to replace n with n minus 1. So that is 3 into n minus 1 whole square plus 2 into n minus 1. So that is equal to 3n square plus 2n minus of 3n square plus 3 minus 6n plus 2n minus 2. 3n square will get cancelled. So in fact 2n and 2n also will get cancelled. So what we will get is this is 6n plus 1 minus of that, so 6n minus 1. So you can see that the nth term is given by 6n minus 1. This is the first property. Next, second one. Now we often see problems wherein they give us particular transformations, and we will be asked to determine if the terms of the arithmetic progression will remain terms of an arithmetic progression or will they change. For example, the question may go like this: if the terms of an arithmetic progression are squared, then the resulting terms are in AP. I mean, like if you have to determine true or false. So how would we determine this? It's a simple. For all these kind of questions, what we will do is we will take the nth term an, which is since it's a linear expression, we don't have to always write it as a plus n minus 1 into d. Since it is a linear expression in n, we will write it as a plus n into b. Are you following? Now here what is said is the terms of the arithmetic progression are squared, which means what will happen to the nth term? Even the nth term will be squared. So what we will get? A square plus n square b square plus 2n ab. So you can see that we are actually determining whether the terms of the resulting sequence will be in arithmetic progression or not. So this would be the nth term of the resulting sequence, right? So here you can see that the nth term of the resulting sequence is a quadratic in n. So if this is to be a arithmetic progression, then you should see that the nth term will be a linear expression in n, which this one is not. So we can say that these terms are not in arithmetic progression. So this statement is false. So the same way, if the terms of an AP are added by a constant value k, okay, then what will happen to the terms of the resulting sequence? Will they be in AP or will they not be in AP? So for this also we will do the same thing. We will take an is equal to a plus n into b, right? So here what is happening? All the terms are added by a constant value k. So the nth term also will be added by a constant value k. So we can see that an is equal to a plus nb plus k. So what we are getting, that is equal to a plus k plus nb. So the resulting sequence is also an arithmetic progression, because whatever the an dash we are getting, that is the nth term of the resulting sequence, is also a linear expression in n. Or you can simply see like this: if you list the terms as a plus d, a plus 2d, and so on, a plus n minus 1 into d. Now all the terms are added by a constant value k, k plus k plus k plus and so on. So you can see that if you take the difference of any two terms, what you will get? A plus d plus k minus a plus k. So what we will get? That is just equal to d. So even in this case here also you can see that this will be the nth term of the resulting sequence, and we know that the common difference of any sequence is whatever is the coefficient of n. So the resulting sequence will be an AP whose common difference is actually equal to b. the given sequence is also an arithmetic progression whose common difference is equal to b. So since we are adding a constant value to all the terms, so the difference between any two consecutive terms will remain the same, as you can see here. So when we add a constant value to all the terms of an arithmetic progression, the resulting sequence is also an arithmetic progression with the same common difference. The only thing that will get changed here is in fact the first term, and of course the other terms will get changed, but there are only two things with which we discuss an arithmetic progression, that being the first term and the common difference. So between these two, only the first term will change, the common difference will remain the same. So let us see just one more example. If all the terms of an arithmetic progression are multiplied by k, then what will happen to the resulting arithmetic progression? So the given arithmetic progression, we will take the nth term of that to be a plus n into b. Now since all the terms are multiplied by k, the resulting sequence will be such that its nth term will be k times the nth term of the originally considered arithmetic progression. So we will get this as k into a plus nb. So that's equal to ka plus n into kb. So this is still a linear expression, so we can say that the resulting sequence is also an arithmetic progression. That is the first conclusion. And the second conclusion is, since all the terms are multiplied by k, so you would obviously understand that the first term also is multiplied by k. So first term is equal to k times the first term of the given arithmetic progression. Okay, so it will get multiplied by k. So k into first term of the given sequence. Next, what about the common difference? So I told you, to determine what will happen to the common difference, we need to look at the coefficient of n. So here you can see that the coefficient of n is kb, which was originally b, which means the common difference of the given arithmetic progression is b, but the common difference of the arithmetic progression obtained by multiplying all the terms by k is kb. So which means what we can say, the common difference is also multiplied by k, or okay, it's also multiplied by k. Okay, one last case. If all the terms are raised to a power of k, then what will happen to the resulting sequence? So the original sequence we will take as a plus n into b. Then when each of the term is raised to the power of k, even the nth term is also raised to the power of k. So the resulting sequence will have the nth term a n dash is equal to a plus n into b to the power k. Okay, so this will not be a linear expression in n. So we would say that this is not an arithmetic progression, except a few cases, right? You would see that this is raised to the power of k, and you might argue that the resulting sequence will not be an arithmetic progression. So that is in general correct, but there are a few exceptions. What are those exceptions? If k is equal to 1, then the resulting sequence will be in arithmetic progression. If k is equal to 1, the resulting sequence will be in arithmetic progression. Basically what we are doing is we are raising each term to the power of 1, which means it remains the same. Any other case, if k is equal to 0, then what will happen? Then all the terms of the resulting arithmetic progression will remain the same. So if all the terms of the arithmetic progression or a particular sequence are the same, then can we say they are in arithmetic progression? Yes, they are in arithmetic progression where the common difference is equal to 0. You should understand that if there is a sequence of the form A and so on, then the terms of the sequence are in arithmetic progression with a common difference of 0. So even for k equal to 0, the terms will be in arithmetic progression. Is there any other case? Yes, there is another case, which is if b is equal to 0. B equal to 0 means what? If the common difference of the original sequence is 0, then what will happen? The original sequence will be of the form A. So if you raise each of the value to the power of k, then the resulting sequence will be of the form A power k and so on. So here also we have terms which are all the same. So we can say that this is also a case of arithmetic progression. So there are three cases wherein if you raise all the terms to the power of k, the resulting sequence will also be in arithmetic progression. What are those three cases? The first case is if the power to which it is raised is equal to 1 or 0, or if the common difference of the originally considered arithmetic progression is equal to 0. Next property, let us say there are two arithmetic progressions, A1, A2, A3, so on till A1 being one arithmetic progression, and the other one B1, B2, so on till Bn. Okay, so we will represent this with the general term An is equal to, since we need to just represent the general term with a linear expression, I will write this as A plus B into n. Okay, so whenever we write the general term of an arithmetic progression, we need to see if it is a linear expression or not. If it is a linear expression, we can say that it is representing the nth term of an arithmetic progression. And what would be the common difference of such an arithmetic progression? That is the coefficient of n, which in this case is b. And if you want the first term, you can just get that by substituting n equal to 1, which will give you a plus b. Similarly, let us represent the nth term of the other arithmetic progression with p plus q into n. Now what we need to see here is when let us say the first case, when the terms of the first arithmetic progression are added to the corresponding terms of the second arithmetic progression, what would be the resulting sequence be? So if the terms of the sequence An are added to the corresponding terms of Bn, then what will happen to the resulting sequence? Then the resulting sequence, you should be able to tell by now. Then the resulting sequence, okay, so what is the resulting sequence? Let us say it is Cn, then what is the nth term of Cn? That is the sum of nth terms of each of the arithmetic progressions, right? So that would be a plus bn plus p plus q into n. Okay, so that will give us a plus p plus n into b plus q. Are you following? So you can see that the resulting expression for Cn, which is a plus p plus n into b plus q, is a linear expression in n. So we can say that this represents the terms of an AP. Okay, that is one observation. What is the second observation? What about the common difference? The common difference is the coefficient of n, which is b plus q. And what is b? B is the common difference of the first arithmetic progression. Q is the common difference of the second arithmetic progression. So the common difference of the resulting arithmetic progression is equal to sum of the common difference of the two arithmetic progressions. Okay, so that is about the common difference. Now what about the first term? Since all the corresponding terms are added, the first term will be the sum of the first term of each of these corresponding arithmetic progressions. Now second scenario, what will happen if they are multiplied? That is, if we consider the sequence of the form a1 b1, a2 b2, a3 b3 and so on. Will these terms be in AP or not? That's the question we need to answer. Actually, we don't have to do much simplification. We can say it directly that they won't be in arithmetic progression, for the simple reason that if you take the nth term of this sequence Cn, which will be equal to An into Bn, the nth term of this sequence will be the product of the nth term of each of the arithmetic progression. So that is equal to A plus B into n into P plus Q into n. So you can see that the product actually gives you a quadratic in n. Will give you a quadratic in n. Since it's a quadratic in n, we can say that the resulting sequence will not be an arithmetic progression. The resulting sequence will not be an arithmetic progression, except for so Cn is not an AP, except there are some exceptions. What are the exceptions? So whenever you are seeing that the resulting sequence is not an AP, or later we will see the resulting sequence will not be a GP, in such cases you have to look for the exceptions. Now what are the exceptions? One is let us say B is equal to 0. If B is equal to 0, then what happens? Then all the terms of the first sequence will remain the same. So this, which will be equal to A. Now A into a linear expression will give you a linear expression, which would mean that since Cn is a linear expression, we can say that the resulting sequence is an arithmetic progression. So when B is equal to 0, or when Q is equal to 0, or both. So in these cases what happens is one of the two APs will be a constant. So in effect what we are doing is we are just multiplying the terms of an AP with a constant number, which will actually give another sequence wherein the terms are also in AP, which we have already seen. Next case, okay, let us quickly see this. If we consider a sequence of the form A1 by B1, A2 by B2, then what we can say? Then obviously the nth term if you take, that is A plus n into B by P plus n into Q. So obviously you can see that this is not a linear expression in n. So the terms will not be not in AP, not in AP, except here also. Can you tell me what is the scenario under which Cn will be in AP? It's simple. If the denominator in denominator, if you get rid of this, then in the numerator what we have is a linear expression. So for that to happen, we require Q is equal to 0. If Q is equal to 0, then what we will get? Cn is equal to A by P plus n into B by P. So again it will be a linear expression in n. So we can say that the terms will be in arithmetic progression. So what is the exception? If whatever is in the denominator, that is the sequence Bn, is such that its common difference is 0, that is if all the terms are constant, that is B1 is equal to B2 is equal to B3 and so on. In such a case, if we consider a sequence of the form A1 by B1, A2 by B2 and so on, so those terms will be in arithmetic progression. Next, now whenever we are solving a problem and if it involves even number of terms or odd number of terms in AP, then it is convenient to take the terms in a particular way. For example, if we have to consider 3 terms in AP, instead of taking those terms as the worst way in which you can take the terms is actually if you take them as A, B, C, that is not at all good. You can do better than that and take the terms as A plus D and A plus 2D. But this is also not what is recommended, because Actually, if we take the terms in a different way, then for all the calculations it generally becomes simple. So, how we are supposed to take the terms? We will take the terms as a minus d, a and a plus d. This way, if you take the terms, then for whatever be the calculations, it becomes a simple. Now, if you have to consider four terms in AP, then how will you take? Will you take one extra term, a minus d, a plus d, a plus 2d? No, that won't be symmetric. So, in such a case, what you will do? You will take it as a minus 3d, a minus d, a plus d and a plus 3d. So, even these terms are in AP. Now, when you are assuming terms like this, you have to be little cautious, because in the first case the common difference is okay, d, but the first term, what is the first term? A minus d is the first term, because in many questions they will ask you to determine the first term, and when you take the terms as a minus d, a plus d, you will determine what is a and immediately consider that as the first term. Many times that kind of mistakes are made by the students. So, whenever you take the terms this way, you have to make sure that you are taking a minus d as the first term. Same is the case here. Here a minus 3d is the first term, and one more thing that we need to remember is the common difference is actually equal to 2. Right. So, this way, taking the terms in a way which will make the calculations simple is always suggested. Now, there are many other properties of arithmetic progression that we can just keep on making up and then discuss them. This I actually leave it to you. You should be exploring the terms of an arithmetic progression and able to come up with as many observations as you can. For instance, if you take a plus d, a plus 2d and so on, a minus a plus n minus 1 into d and so on, let us say. Now, if you add these two terms, then what you will get? 2a plus n minus 1 into d, right. If you add the second term, this is a plus n minus 2 into d, right. If you add these two, then what do we get? A plus d, a plus n minus 2 into d. See, you will again get 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So, what is the observation here is, if you add a term like a pth term from the beginning and pth term from the end, and then qth term from the beginning and qth term from the end, all those sums will be equal. First term plus the last term, second term and the sum of the second term from the end, all these sums if you take, it will be equal. And one more thing, that in regard to arithmetic means, what would be the sum of n arithmetic means between two numbers, let us say a and b. So, we have already seen how to determine the arithmetic means between a and b. Let us say they are a1, a2, so on till an and b. Now, if we take the sum of all n arithmetic means, which means we are not adding a and b. So, S is equal to a1 plus a2 plus so on till an, right. So, that is equal to, we can use the formula n by 2 into first term a1 plus the last term an, right. Now, we can write S is equal to n by 2 into a1, we can write as a plus d plus an. So, that is equal to n by 2 into a plus, what is d plus an plus d will give you the next term, which is b, that is equal to n into a plus b by 2. So, you can see that this is an important property. You can see that the sum of n arithmetic means between two numbers is equal to n times, what is a plus b by 2? This is the first arithmetic mean that we have seen. A plus b by 2 is the arithmetic mean between two numbers, because it is unique. N times the single arithmetic mean, n times the single arithmetic mean between the two numbers. So I strongly encourage you to explore. You write down the terms of an AP. You can find many patterns. The more the observations you make, the more easier it will become when you are solving the problems.